Lucifer is God. They've got a magazine. It's called The New Age. Need I say more? Most of the people in the Masons, pretty good guys. They don't know that at the top levels it's Lucifer.
Most of them are normal people, just ordinary people.
My stepfather, great man. My uncle, great guy. Love him. Loved him. They didn't know. If you're in the Masons, it's time to get out. Get out. Stop paying your dues. Let's close them down.
Just looking at the New Age, maybe a lot of people already know that at the top level, the Masons are generally good people, almost certainly good people, but at the top levels it's bad. But in terms of the New Age movement, because this distracts a lot of people from this kind of stuff, because they say, oh, I don't want to look at this, I'd rather look at something that's, more sort of, less kind of upsetting maybe in some ways, or less kind of worrying, and then, looking at maybe angel cards or contacting fairies or something.
It's contacting fairies.
What's your view of that movement then? Do you think it's? I suppose there's some good parts, some bad parts.
There's the people I was at a meeting the other night. Oh, you're talking war, and you're talking you're talking
because you're quite aggressive.
Negative.
Though. You're quite aggressive because you're saying. A lot of people might sit there and say, well, let's send love to these people. That's what they need.
Come over and hug the Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Hug the Rockefellers. Let's give them a kiss. They're coming over with a gun. In the other room, they're raping your daughters. Oh, let's hug them. It's touchy, feely, kissy. They're in the process, lady, of raping you and your daughter. Don't you understand? Don't you get it? And I think then they're taking a look at one of the women at the conference down here in Bristol, and she's wearing the satanic pentagram. She says, "Oh, this Anton LaVey for the First Church of Satan, he wasn't that bad," and she's a touchy, feely thing with ear piercings and all of that, and I think she's probably a nice woman. But when you talk about Anton LaVey and you talk about sacrificing children on an altar, drinking blood, and devoweling babies, the New Age movement, they say, well, some of that touchy-feely thing from the arcades, some of that touchy-feely thing might be going over there with the Rothschild estate and the pyramid.
I think there are some, I don't want to discredit, there are some very good things that come out of that, and a lot of things that give people hope on a spiritual level. That's maybe a separate topic from today. So I think there's a lot of good things, but also I agree to a certain extent that there are some distractions that are leading people in the wrong direction, maybe.
Great, it's like the President of the United States, his campaign. Hope. With Obama, there's no hope. He's down on his knees before the banksters. He's got more of the banksters and more of the Trilateral Commission and the CFR in his group than anybody else has ever had. He's on his knees before them, and he's not just shining their shoes.
Okay, so you're saying we need to take more of an aggressive, organized stance against these people?
No, you're saying more. You're not. There is no aggressive, organized stance in this country. There is none. You know it, and I know it, and you know it. Except for little pockets. The Theo Chalmers, he's out there talking about this stuff. Ian Cranes. Harris. Brian Garish. The movement, which was fragmented, has come together. I've been speaking from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. It has come together. Sir James over here behind the camera. He's bringing in these people. You're here, a spokesman for freedom. I'm taking a look. Where are the other Greys? Oh, people, when they talk about Greys, they're talking about, oh, those are the Greys. They're from the aliens.
You're the Greys, yeah.
So, you know,
yeah, the Graylings.
The Graylings.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there are many people out there, and there's more people all the time. And
no, there's not a hell of a lot of people out there, my friend. You happen to be.
Yeah.
Listen, I haven't seen anybody out there that is more attractive and with it than the man who's across from me right now. There's not a lot of these guys. You've got to support him. You got to get him on some commercial television so he gets paid.
I'm not sure I want to go on commercial television, to be honest. But anyway, let's talk about, just as we're talking about that subject, you described Hollywood. I mean, you say the commercial side of it. You actually described Hollywood as a cancer on the hemorrhoid, on the arsehole of the whore of America. So
that would be
with that in mind.
That's an accurate statement.
With that in mind,
I know what Hollywood is. I know how they prostitute the people. I know how they use your money to manipulate your mind. If you go in and you buy a ticket to these movies, right? You say, oh, I'm going in to enjoy this. They make movies for the message. It isn't the money. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, these people they put millions and millions and billions of dollars in the industry to persuade you not to think. There's no worry, we're going to do your thinking for you.
I paid to buy one of these tickets and went to a movie theatre, putting money in the back of the Whore of Hollywood or whatever. And I went to watch a film called 2012.
Ah,
I'm not joking, there was some good information.
There are exceptions. A friend of mine, Damien Chapa, who did Blood In, Blood Out, the Taylor Hackford movie, is on our film. Frankenfed, The Monster Amongst Us, a friend of mine, Gary Busey, he's in there. I see good stuff coming out of, well, Mel Gibson. You see some great movies.
Oh yeah, Mel Gibson.
By Mel Gibson.
Great guy. Yeah.
His father's a friend of mine. Hut and I talk often. We
Braveheart was a particularly good one, actually. I think you saw that was a fantastic film. Yeah, freedom and all that sort of stuff.
Freedom, and he understands it. What happened to Mel? He was down there. He's a drinker, all right. He's down there at the Moonshadows on the Pacific Coast Highway, and he's watching television, and he sees Lebanon being bombed by the Israelis, slaughtering children and innocent men, women, and children, old men, wholesale bombing. And I'm taking a look, and this is on our film Skull and Bones, The Catholic Connection. You see the ordnance that they're putting into the guns, into these big cannons, is depleted uranium, which causes the children, when born, to be deformed.
Or have leukemia.
They make, it's like the thalidomide, they've got like a third arm growing out of their shoulder. And one big eye over here, so it's like watching a monster movie. Unlike the legendary Dr. Frankenstein, who performed his experiments and created his monster from the dead. These modern day Dr. Frankensteins are creating their monsters and performing their experiments from the living. This isn't masks of wax. God, when you think of it, the children who are being born, or yet to be born, coming out of the womb, the woman expecting a beautiful child. God, and I know what you women go through. Expecting a natural baby.